Hey there, and welcome to Rayon's Basics tutorial series. If you need more information about Rayon, you can book a demo with our team using the link in the description. You can also create a free Rayon account and use the templates below to draw along with me as we go through this tutorial. Let's dive in. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about how to use styles in Rayon. First of all, I'll start with a general concept of styles. You may be used to drawing in other design software in what's called wireframe mode. Let's also activate the grid and this very technical interface where you see only the minimal line weight representation. You see colors according to layers, and you can draft, but you can't really design or add materials or prepare your drawing set as a presentation at the same time you're drawing. That's what we strive to do in Rayon. We just really find that it shortens your work time, makes processes more efficient, and really gives you the ability to draft and start getting the look and feel and sense of your space as you go. So this is an example of a drawing that has hatches, stroke weights, colors, all the different details that make it come to life. And we're going to talk today about how to apply these in Rayon. So let's dive in. I'll start by explaining that there are 4 types of styles. Typically, we have styles to apply onto surfaces or shapes. So this can be, room areas. This can be blocks, anything that's really a drawn shape in Rayon. Then we have text styles. So the font and the color is an example, and annotation styles. So dimensions, arrows, arrowheads, colors, fonts. Lastly, we also have wall styles. So you'll see here in this model already that I have a few types of walls, these thick white walls and then thinner walls with a hatch. So you can set the settings of each one of this type of element in Rayon, and let's see how to do that. I'll zoom in this area and let's start by maybe drawing a shape to see how you can set its styles. Just grab a rectangle and place it on the canvas. When you have a shape, and this also applies to walls, we'll see some properties available in some elements and some aren't. So let's start reviewing what properties this shape has. I'll select it, and then the style panel will open on the right. You'll see here that I can start by adding fill and stroke to my shape. So let's review the different fills we have in Rayon. First of all, we have a color fill. So you can select any color you want. You can also use the hex. You can add an opacity to your color. And we also have some color palettes available for you if you want to use these on the go in Rayon. Other than colors, we have textures, so realistic textures. You can start by browsing our in-app library of textures with tiles, parquet flooring, cement, and other. We also have some more materials and textures to upload in your drawing, which I'll show you in just a bit. And you can upload your own custom bespoke material if you'd like. When talking about these materials, note that these can actually be scaled and changed. So if I select these bricks, for example, I go to transform, you'll find here the scale command. You can rotate, offset, and also use filters like exposure, contrast, saturation. All the things you may know from other editing software are available directly here in Rayon, which is super nice. Other than the texture, we also have hatches. So again, there's an in-app hatch library, which you're welcome to select from. Once you select a specific pattern, you can then change it. So in this case, you can, of course, change its stroke color. Let's say we want to do this color for the tiles, and then we can also add a background in Rayon to our pattern. Other than that, again, you can transform. So scale and rotate, we just saw these before. And another thing to note about hatches is that you can also add tiling to your hatches. Sometimes you're going to have different rooms with the same material and it's going to be positioned differently maybe, or rotate differently. In that case, you can activate that tiling from this button, add tiling, and you're going to want to edit it. This will enable this blue dot that will let you set the starting point of your tiles. Let's say I want them to start from the top right. You can also rotate these from here. If you hold down shift, it will help you do a perpendicular rotating. And then you can also scale these directly from here. So this is one way to add your tiling. And then this can be set differently for each room in your project or each area in your site plan, and so on and so forth. Back to the fills, we'll just review the last one, which is adding your custom image. And also, by the way, you can upload your custom hatch as a pad file. So if you have unique materials, you can bring them in as images, or if you have unique patterns, welcome to import them as a hatch. All right, next up, after talking about the fill of a shape, is talking about the stroke of a shape. Now here, there's a logic that is tied to Rayon's grader logic about exporting your drawings. For this, I really recommend to watch our tutorial about canvases and views. This is how you want to export your drawing at different scales. For now, I'll say that there are two types of canvases in Rayon. Canvases are basically these whiteboards we're drawing on, and you can access them on the top layer panel. You can see that we have model canvases and paper canvases, and the difference is their stroke scale. You're going to find the stroke scale here on the right. You're going to want to set the stroke scale according to the scale you're going to export this drawing typically. So if it's a building, a millwork drawing, or a detail, you have the different stroke scales you can choose from. And this will also be tied to the stroke scale you apply at the style level. So if I select this element and go to the stroke, you'll see here on the drop-down, I have my active canvas, the one I'm drawing on, which holds my stroke scale right here. And the paper canvas one, which is what I might be using when I export my drawing. So this is just kind of a intro. You can simply select the one that makes sense to you looking at your model. So for now, we have this light stroke. I'll just choose this one to make this super clear. And we can maybe select this benchmark one. So for the shape, other than fill and stroke, these are the two main properties we have. Let's talk about the other style properties that we have for other elements. So we mentioned that we also have wall properties. Let me delete this surface real quick. I'll draw a wall down here. And this wall also has its properties. You'll notice that alongside of fill and stroke, you can also set a wall's thickness. So you can do this from the drop down or manually. Maybe I want a 23 centimeter thick wall. And typically this wall will have, a solid color or maybe a cement. That is basically it about the walls. Other than those, let's add a text and annotation. So I'll select a simple text. Let's place that there. And you see here on the right that I have, for styles, my text size, which can be set here, and my text font. And other than text, let's place a dimension or other annotations on the drawing. For dimensions, again, there's a tutorial dedicated to this, a bit more in depth. For now, I'll just say that you can check out the style panel. You'll see it's, again, pretty straightforward. You can change things like colors, fonts, and also units. So keep this in mind when you select a style or create a style for a dimension. You can also have style dimensions with specific units. For example, if you're drawing a millwork drawing and you want the units to be at millimeter precision, and then if you're drawing a site map and you want it to be in meters, you can create different dimension styles to reflect this. So you have control from the style of the dimension, and then you have the general model unit. So keep that in mind. Now, let's say that I'm happy with this style. I want to talk to you about how you can save and edit your styles in batch. So to save a style, again, this could be for any of the things we just demonstrated, you select it and you'll see here next to the style that you have the save style option and the quad button. We'll start by saving this style. Let's say I want to use it again and again in my model or even across my models. I'll click on the plus button. I can call this dimension 1. And once I save it, the idea is that whenever I use it on my model, let's maybe copy this dimension a few times. Imagine when they're, populated and scattered all around my model like this. I can select one of the elements from the style, go to the styles, and then you see the style is saved, so I can edit the style itself. Let's change this now to maybe red or orange, and you see that it applied to all my styles at once. Let's zoom in here. So it's really nice when you want to edit styles in batch. For example, if I select this wall, for example, you see that it's under this style. I can go ahead, edit the style, and just for the sake of this demonstration, we could make these black, which would reflect across our model at once. Let's place that back in white. But this is just a really powerful way to edit all your drawings without selecting nitty-gritty tiny pieces everywhere. If you do want to edit one of the elements without changing the plate style, all you have to do is select it, go to the detach style, and then you can edit this one individually. So there you go. Also note that you have the style picker. So if you go ahead and select the style picker, you can then use it to match it with different styles on your canvas. At the end of the day, what's going to happen is you save all your styles and you're creating a style repository or style library, as we call it. So you see here, I have multiple dimension styles that I've created. If I select the wall and go to the quad button, I'll find all the wall styles I have in my model. And this is great because I can then also use these styles and create a style library, which I can use in all my other models and with my team. So we're going to see how to do that in just a bit. Before we talk about that, I just want to note that there's also the notion of an active style. Whenever I'm about to draw something, an active style is going to be activated here on the right. And then I can change the style of something even before I start drawing it right away. So this is just an example. All right, let's delete these and talk about style libraries. So there are two types of style libraries I want to discuss. The ones that you can create for yourself and for your teams, and the one that Rayon has for you. Other than the default styles that we just saw, you're going to find the style panel on the top left in the style panel. There are two tabs here. One is My Style, which is where you can manage all the styles in your drawing. You see here that I have a bunch of different styles, and I can edit styles from here directly. So I can change their name and their properties. I can also use this to kind of merge similar styles, delete unused styles, and manage this style settings. Note that there's also advanced options of adding properties onto styles. And for that, I'm going to send you to the metadata and table tutorial. If you want to add properties onto a style, for example, if you have a real tile that you're working with and you want it to be represented as a style in Rayon, but also carry things like its brand, its material, its price, you can do that with using metadata. So go ahead and check out that tutorial if interested. Other than the My Style, which is also where you can create new styles and such, you'll find the libraries. And this is where you'll find hundreds of more patterns and styles by Rayon down here. You'll find here, 7 more different types of tiles. And there's terrazzo here, and really sand and grout and more textures and hatches. So I invite you to check this one out. If you want to use one of these in your model, all you have to do is go ahead and click on the 3 dots and import, and then it will appear in your library in the model. Other than that, you may note that I have my libraries and my organization libraries here. So this is where I can work at a team level and share different styles with my team and across my models. These are basically just those style libraries. So let's talk about how you can create your style library. So I'll go to the share button to show you how that would work. Essentially, my model right now carries multiple types of styles, right? For surfaces, for text, everything we just reviewed. If I go to the share button on the top right, I'm going to get to the collaborative panel of Rayon. Here's where you can share your model with others and publish it as templates, presentations, and libraries. So if I visit the library tab, you'll see that I can publish this model as a style library, also as a block library, by the way. I'll toggle on the publish as styles, and this will save all the styles and make them available for my other models. One thing you might want to do if you're creating a model that is going to be a dedicated style library, you can just name it library. So let's call this just lib for now. And I want to show you how I can access these styles from another model. So let's go back to my model workspace. And here I am. You can already see that this model has this purple tag indicating that it's a published style library. And now if I jump into another model, for example, let's jump into this one. If I want to start using those, red styles, hatches, the properties I've created in my other model, I'll go ahead to the Style tab, visit the libraries, and I'll find my lib right here. So library, ranch house, it has 81 styles. And I can either select specific styles I want to use in my drawing right here, or just go ahead and click on the button and click on Import All. Now that I've imported the styles into my library, whenever I draw a shape here, or if I want to edit an existing shape, for example, let's grab this dimension. We'll click on the quad button, and there you are. Here are the dimensions we used in our other model. So that's how you can publish and share your libraries of styles in Rayon. So that's how you can use the styles in Rayon to create professional and beautiful document sets that have information about the materiality of your project and streamline the process of creating a drawing set and a presentation all in one place. Thanks for watching this tutorial. If you have any more questions, you're welcome to book a demo with our team by using the link in the description. You can also join our community and, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more videos like this. Have a good one.